a screen shot of my thing. So let's look at the pricing. If you look at Zoom, there's a free one, and I recommend everybody go get that free one. It has some limitations, but play with it, learn it, because it really is probably going to be a thing of the future. And whoever's good at that right now, I still think they have a great advantage. If you look at the free one, you can have up to 100 participants. It's unlimited one-to-one meetings. But if you have multiple people on here, like we are, you're limited to 40 minutes. And I've actually been on a free one that cut off. Now, if you have a really long-winded client, that might not be a bad thing. But anyway, there is some limitations. I actually have the $14.99 one, but definitely get the free one. Something that you can do with the $14.99 and up is you can record it. Which is pretty good, especially, so we do virtual presentations of the inspection report, and then we record it as well in case any other family members want to see or anything like that where we're explaining stuff. But you see, basically, I think this is the best deal for me, but if you have multiple team members, the big difference with the $14.99 versus the free is that you can record it, and you can go more than 40 minutes. You can actually go 24 hours, I think. And you have a lot of storage. And obviously, the more further you go up the food chain there, the more bells and whistles you can get. But I would definitely go for the free or the $14.99. And I think if you pay that for the year, it's actually a little cheaper than that. So if you get Zoom and you want to set up a meeting, what you're going to go over here to host a meeting, and then schedule a meeting. And this is what you'll see at the beginning. It'll say topic, like for this one, I put, the name of my presentation, who it's with, and then you put the time of day that you want and the duration. Now, don't worry about the duration. If you go over it, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not going to say, hey, after an hour, it cuts off. Unless you've got the free one, it's going to cut off in 40 minutes. I will tell you that. You have the option to click recurring meeting if it's going to be like a weekly meeting, which saves a little bit of time. Now, the next slide is just going to be like I'm scrolling down. You can require a password. I haven't been doing that. My daughter just finished at Clemson, and they have been doing classes by Zoom, and they had some guy get on her chemistry class that was what they call a Zoom bomber, and he was just saying really ugly, nasty stuff. And that's why they've upped the security. That actually was a thing, Zoom bombing. But my meetings and your meetings might be smaller where it's not that could happen. But you can require a password for security if you like. Now, these are the options we're setting for the meeting. If you're scheduling a meeting, the host can have their camera on or off when you first come on. Participant can have their camera on or off. Most things I read say to have it off, although I'm making a hypocrite of myself because it wasn't off when I first came on, just because you may not be ready yet. You're, sometimes going on early just to see. But, that's your choice of whether, you want them on or off. Audio, I recommend both. Sometimes people have trouble with their computer audio. So I always check both there. And that's actually the default. Meeting options, I don't really do too much with that. You can do like a green room or something like that. So once you set up your meeting, it's actually pretty simple. Just click save. Now, so your meeting will show up like this. And, so this was, let's see, these are different ones that I've done. This is the one we're doing here. So I'll just go back to this the day I want to start the meeting and just start the meeting. Now, what I can do is when you see this meeting, I click on that meeting. This is what shows. I copy the invitation. This is to send out the invitations right over here on the right-hand side. See that little blue, copy the invitation? If I click on that, this is going to show, and then you click on copy the meeting invitation, and then it highlights it, copy again. And then what it does, it copies that to your clipboard, and you can paste that in an email, however you want to send it out, through an email, Facebook Messenger, however you want. And everybody who has they'll have this right here, the link. It'll also put on there a phone thing if they want to phone in, but that's pretty much how the link works. You guys probably clicked on one very similar. Real easy to do. Also, if something changes, I've had a meeting that they wanted to change the time. You can go back in and edit that meeting, and it does not change the Zoom link or the numbers or anything like that. So again, just click on there, copy the invitation, which will be right here. It'll highlight it. It'll be on your clipboard. Go where you want to send it, right click and paste and send it. And then you can send that Zoom invitation. Now, when you go on the meeting, you probably saw something like this. It says open Zoom or cancel. You click on open Zoom and then join with computer audio, unless you have a special microphone or something like that. And here I am before my haircut. I actually got my haircut over the weekend. But anyway, so this is, coming on, and you'll see, and I'll show you guys in a minute how you can make a background and brand yourself and all that. Couple of things I want to show you about the Zoom. And if you roll your cursor down towards the bottom, you'll probably see a couple of controls. The first one is the microphone on the far left, and then you got the camera. And we'll go over to security, manage participants, chat, share screen, record. I'm not sure if you see the record on yours. If you have the free one, you won't have it. Reactions and more. But first, let's look at the microphone. If you click on this microphone, it just gives you some different options. Usually, you're just going to leave this alone. You're just going to click on the microphone on or off. The little red slash goes through it to mute yourself. If you're, in a meeting, and it's hard when you have open mics, everybody open. What I usually do is have, tell the one person talking to open their mic, and then, as soon as somebody's going to ask them a question, open their mic. But if you have 30 or 40 open mics, you get a lot of back feed, dogs barking, that sort of thing. Let's go to the camera. If you go over to the camera, obviously if you click on the camera or off the camera, you get that red slash. So that turns your camera on or off. And when you set up your account, it'll ask you for a profile picture or your logo. That's what will show when your camera's off. Right now, it's probably just your name, but if you want to put your logo or just a picture, you can do that in your profile. When you go back to your main page there, it'll say profile, just like Facebook or anything like that. Whatever you put in that will show when you turn the camera off. It's probably going to have your computer screen on here. That's what you're going to see. I have Snap Camera. That's another option. I'll show you that in a minute. You can also do video settings and change your virtual background. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, click on change virtual background, and this will show up. And in fact, if you guys, you're probably looking at my screen right now, but you can play with that. I invite you to click on that arrow and roll up to virtual background. And then you go over here and you can hit this plus sign. Anything you've got on your computer, you can put as your background. And I'll show you guys how you can make one just the right size. It's basically a 16 by 9 or 1080p photo, which is pretty much like when you turn your phone sideways, that's the exact dimension that it is. So if you take a picture with your phone sideways, that thing should fit just right. And you can navigate to wherever you have that picture with the plus sign. I'll show you guys a real easy way in a minute to put your logo and your, anything you want on there, because you got some space to work with, and you can have that background every time you have a meeting. And once you use a background, all those backgrounds will show up here. So you can go back and choose one, or you can hit that plus sign and navigate to one. You can also have a video playing back there. It only plays, I think, for 11 seconds or something in a loop. Only 11 seconds worth, but I did want to, let you know that. So now you might need a green screen. I know somebody was saying sometimes there's flickers a little bit. This was when I wanted to be the Tiger King. I had the Tiger King background back there, and I had my face all done up, but that was a lot of work. So only did that once. But again, you can change your background however you want it. Um, if you a green screen is great, but if you don't have one, if you just have a plain wall or a white wall, that'll work as well. You just want to make sure that you're not backlit, that any lights are in front of you shining towards you. If you're in front of a window or you're backlit, it's not going to do very well. You can honestly, you can get a green screen and 2 lights on Amazon for about $100. And as soon as this thing hit, I said, man, it's going virtual now. And, anybody who's good at virtual is going to be king. So I ordered that right away. But you can have any kind of background you want and, brand yourself on any meeting, anything you do with clients. If you want to do Facebook Live or market updates to your database, you can, you probably don't want the Tiger King background, but you could have a house or something back there. When we went back and we hit that little camera where it said choose virtual background, there's one that's also says video properties. This might be one that you kind of like. If you go to my video and go down, there's a little checkbox that don't mirror my video. That's just going to turn it around backwards. But there's one called touch up my appearance. And my wife loves this one because it's got a little filter on it that kind of softens it up, so that maybe you look a little younger than usual. I don't know, but I'll just say my wife likes it. So if you hit on that little arrow beside the camera thing, go up to video settings and go down to the one that says touch up my appearance. Click that one on if you want that softer focus. I'm just going up and down. Once you get this thing, there's all different kinds of little settings you can change. Some people are really into keyboard shortcuts. You can click on there for a whole list of them. I'm not a big shortcut user because I just can't remember all of them, but I know some people really are. And you can go up and down this thing, and there's different little changes you can make and things like that. So that's for the camera. Now I have a snap camera. I'll show you guys how to do that, how you can use a Snapchat filter to change your picture too, if you like. So I clicked on the snap thing. This is, if any of you guys are familiar with Snapchat or you have teenage kids, you can use a Snapchat filter. I mean, if you really want to differentiate yourself, I don't know how appropriate it would be for a business meeting, but if you're meeting with the in-laws, it might be a cool thing. But you can choose a Snapchat filter, and I'll show you guys how to do that in just a minute. The other thing I want to show you is obviously the screen share, thing that we're doing right now. You click that at the bottom. It's in the bottom middle, and you can share whatever's on your screen. Hold on, I think that's the next one. Wait a second, 1 second here. The screen share is right down here, and it will share whatever's on your screen. And when you get done, you go up to the top right, and it stops share. So one thing you can do, like we've been doing a thing on our Charlotte Real Estate Insiders, and if you guys want to join that, please do, where people can show their listings on there. They could bring their listings on here virtual. So each person gets a turn, share screen, go through the pictures, and then they stop share. And then the next person, you guys could actually share what's on your screen. So that's kind of cool if you're doing a group meeting and people have listings and they want to share it. And you may already be doing that. I'm not sure. The next thing is the group chat right here. So when you click on group chat, you'll notice that the chat shows up on the right-hand side. This is the equivalent of passing notes. Remember we used to pass notes in high school and, you get busted if teacher gets one and they read it out loud to the class. Well, now it's encouraged. But no, it's good because you can ask questions in the chat. And, it's just a really good thing to have. So if you notice, if you kind of roll your cursor down there at the bottom, we talked about the microphone, the camera, manage participants. If you're the person you can mute everybody or whatnot. And then chat, you bring up the little board on the right and everybody can say something in the chat. If you look at the bottom of the chat, it'll say mute all if, somebody has their mic on, unmute all, like if you're at the end of a meeting, and you want to open it up for discussion. Another thing, it doesn't show on here, but when you're doing the chat, you can make a chat specifically to one person in the meeting or to all. You know, boy, it wouldn't have been great if we could have, you don't even get busted and the teacher doesn't even read it out loud anymore. It's there for everybody to see. But that's the screen share. Now on mine, you won't see this if you get the free one, but on mine, I've got the record where I can hit record and it'll record the meeting. That's really good if you're doing something and, you know, somebody couldn't be there and they want to see it later. Reactions, you can give somebody, this is the equivalent of a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, you know, you like what they're doing, you just click I think it's a smiley face or something. And then the more, I'll show you that in a minute. It depends on how you set up your account. Now, if you hit that share screen, this is what you're going to see. Every single thing that's open on your computer, every tab that you've got, including a whiteboard. So if you're running a meeting and you want to share something that's on your computer screen, let's say you're talking to a client and you want to go over the, you know, offer to purchasing contract and you've got it pulled up, you can click on that share screen, go to the tab that has it and click on it, and you guys both can see it. And then again, click the stop share up here. So you'll just select the one that you want and then push share. And then that's what will show on the screen. Again, this is the record button. You can record it to the computer or record it to the cloud. Oh, this is the thumbs up, thumbs down, or clap. Maybe it's just clap or thumbs up. Maybe the good stuff, I guess. So now I want to talk to you about if you wanted to do something, here's a great idea. Go live on Facebook. Like if you're doing a market update or something like that, you can go live to Facebook. I'm not sure if you can do this on the free version, but you can certainly do it on the $14.95 version. You have to go into your settings and there's one little thing you have to change. Just turn it on where you go live to Facebook. It's in your setting. And then once you do that, you'll have these three little dots over here. And when you click on it, you can go live to Facebook, live on Workplace by Facebook, or live on YouTube. I haven't done Workplace or YouTube yet. This is something that's kind of new with Facebook. I don't know if it's going to get traction, but I do like to go live on Facebook. Let's say you were interviewing a professional or you got some market stats or something you want to go live to your database, and you've got stuff on your computer you want to share. Because remember, once you get on there, you can share your screen. That's what's pretty cool about it. You can go live on Facebook, you can record it, you can share your screen, and you can have multiple people. You could be interviewing somebody. So you get a lot of mileage out of it. You know, you get that Facebook Live, you get the recording you can use later and put on other social media or put it on YouTube or whatever. It's just kind of a win-win-win because you can do multiple things with it. But let's say I'm going to click here and I'm going to go live on Facebook. So this is what will pop up. And as soon as I put from Zoom, and it says, where do you want to post your live video? Do you want it on your timeline, a friend's timeline, or in a group, or, you know, share an event on a page you manage? So if you just only want to go live to, let's say you have a business page, you would click on that and do it for your business page. If you have a group, you know, and that's a great thing to do. Create a group, you know, if, you know, if your database, or even if it's based around something, I don't know, but if you can create a group of your database, they all get notified as soon as you go on a Facebook Live. So that's going on Facebook Live. And, you know, once you get on there, what I always do when I go on Facebook Live, I'll have a computer, another computer or my phone kind of over here on Facebook with the volume all the way down, just to make sure that I'm on there. And I could also monitor, because sometimes people ask you questions on Facebook, and when you're on the live that you won't see on your Zoom. So you can monitor that, but turn the volume down because there is like a little bit of a delay, and it's not good. Just turn the volume down to make sure that you're going live. So I got two bonuses, and I know I've been talking a lot, so I'll open it up here in just a second. The first bonus is how to make a background for your Zoom, you know, where you could choose your virtual background. I recommend canva.com, Canva.com. It's free. I mean, there is a paid version, but the free version can do so much. It's pretty cool. So canva.com, canva.com. And scroll up. You can make all kinds of things with this, Facebook covers, and it has the dimensions, or depending on what the template you choose, already figured out. If you want to post something on Instagram, whichever one, uh, but you scroll up to Zoom virtual backgrounds. This is the one I chose right here. They actually have videos you can choose, pictures you can choose, and you can change the picture. The great thing is, once you choose it, it's the right size. It's going to be the exact right size, which is that 16 by 9. But all right, so let's click on one. Let's choose this one right here, this Caribbean looking one. So you choose this here, and you'll have a little workspace like this. And over on the left-hand side, you got a couple of tools, and you can upload. So that little cloud thing there, if you click on that, upload, you can upload your logo. And once your logo's on there, you just click and drag that thing over, and it has little handlebars on it. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever. You could put like Allen Tate and maybe your logo. I mean, whatever you want, but your head's going to be here in the middle. So you have a little space on each side. So it's something to think about. And then once you get it the way you want it, you hit this, see the little arrow up in the right-hand corner, right there beside share. You'll download it to your computer. And anything you want to upload, you can upload over here. Anything, any picture, anything. And I could change this picture. I could put it a personal picture and just move it over. That's all you got to do. So we'll click on the download. Yeah, you click there and it's download. You could do as a JPEG or PNG. I usually do a JPEG. And then it's going to show up on the download on your computer if you've got it set there. So this is where, my download, this is the one we just made, right? So it's sitting in my download on my computer. So I go back to my screen and I choose virtual background. I'm gonna click on that, and then I'm gonna go up here to the plus sign, click add image, go to my downloads, click on that, and then open it, and then it'll change my background just like that. And you can do the exact same thing with a video. Just when you push click, you have a choice of image or video, and you can put it wherever you want. And I recommend, taking a little time, have some fun, go make a bunch of them and have them stored up. I mean, I'll be in a meeting, I'll change them 2 or 3 times. I want to stand out. So, but that's up to you. But definitely, if you're going to be on a bunch of Zoom meetings, you ought to brand yourself. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but I would. But anyway, that's pretty easy to do. The other thing I want to tell you, this is kind of fun. If you want to use a Snapchat filter on Zoom, I don't know if you want to do this in a business meeting, but if you're, a lot of you guys are probably having Zooms with your family and stuff, that could be kind of fun. So basically, if you've ever used Snapchat, they have these face filters. And they're a lot of fun. My wife loves them. I don't think she's actually the age that's their target market, but she loves putting those face filters on. So what you can do is go to Snap Camera. Let's see, snapcamera.snapchat.com. And then you download that. And so once you download it, it now becomes an option. So you've got all these different screens. This is one I did. That's what my background really looks like back there, is just a green screen. But you can choose any one that you want. I had that other crazy one there. But remember where the camera was, and I clicked that arrow. I can choose. It said Snap Camera. If I click Snap Camera, it's going to go to this versus the other one's just my computer. You can be a banana with eyes. You can be googly eyes. Yeah, this is, I did that one a couple of times. I think that's from Trolls. Yeah, see down here, you've got this is my normal camera. I have a HP computer. Yours may be something different. And then the Snap Camera. And then that's what would do that. So I hope that has been helpful to you guys. I'll open it up to any questions, but the big thing is, you know, it's a virtual world now. And again, whoever's good at virtual, I see Barbara's got a cool background back there. She's, she looks like she's at, all she needs is a margarita and she's good, man. But I hope that's been helpful, and I'll take any questions. You guys, let me unmute everybody here. I just watched a whole bunch of videos on Zoom as soon as this thing broke out, and I said, all right, I'm going to learn all the ins and outs. And Zoom can do a lot more, but those are the things that, recording, share screen, changing your backgrounds, muting, and the chat are pretty much the nuts and bolts. And if you learn how to do Zoom, you can do WebEx. You can do, I think there's Google coming out with one. They're all basically the same. The guy who started Zoom used to work at WebEx, actually. And it's very similar, very similar.
Does anybody have any questions for Preston?
Was that helpful? I hope.
That's very helpful.
Right. So it kind of gives some idea of them actually being in control of the Zoom meeting and setting it up. Everybody's been attending a lot of Zoom meetings, but this is kind of a different kind of, okay, now you're the meeting organizer